Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation titled Enriching Self-Regulated Learning Through Technology-Enhanced Environments. Today we'll be exploring a case study from Malaysia that illustrates how digital platforms can significantly enhance students' self-regulation skills. My name is Christopher Clevenger, and this presentation is based on Chapter 16 from the textbook Fostering Self-Regulated Learning Through ICT by Dettori and colleagues. Before we get into the case study, let's define self-regulated learning, or SRL. Self-regulated learning refers to the process where learners take active control of their own learning journey. According to Pinterich, SRL is an active, constructive process where learners set goals for their learning and attempt to monitor, regulate, and control their cognition, motivation, and behavior. Essentially, students who engage in SRL are setting learning goals, tracking their own progress, and adapting strategies to meet those goals effectively. For example, a student practicing SRL might set a goal to understand Newton's laws, track their comprehension by taking quizzes, and revise their approach based on quiz results. In the past, Malaysia's educational system focused heavily on traditional learning methods, with a strong emphasis on rote memorization and high-stakes exams. However, over the last 2 decades, there's been a noticeable shift towards promoting more active and student-centered learning approaches. This transition was largely driven by the Smart School Initiative, which began in 2003. This initiative aimed to integrate information and communication technology, or ICT, into classrooms to support higher-order thinking and problem-solving skills. The goal was to move away from traditional rote learning and toward fostering skills like critical thinking, creativity, and self-regulation. One significant result of this shift in educational policy was the development of the Interactive E-Learning Community, or IELC for short. The IELC is a digital learning platform on Moodle. It employs a blended learning approach, combining traditional classroom instruction with online asynchronous forum discussions. This combination aims to enhance students' engagement and their ability to practice self-regulation. The IELC enables students to participate in forum discussions, ask questions, provide peer feedback, and collaborate on complex topics outside the classroom. By engaging with this platform, students develop crucial self-regulated learning skills through repeated interaction and reflection. The primary purpose of this case study was to investigate the effectiveness of the IELC platform in fostering self-regulated learning practices among Malaysian secondary school students. To do this, the researchers implemented a quasi-experimental design, which included both pre-test, post-test, and post-test only groups. In the pre-test phase, all students were assessed using the Motivated Strategies for Learning Questionnaire, or MSLQ, to measure their initial SRL practices. Students in the experimental group were then tasked to actively participate in the IELC platform, while the control group continued with their regular classroom activities. After 8 weeks, both groups were reassessed using the same MSLQ to identify any changes in their self-regulated learning practices. The IELC platform was designed to promote several key components of self-regulated learning. The first component, rehearsal, involved students restating important concepts and definitions to solidify their understanding. For example, students were encouraged to post definitions of physics formulas in the forums. The second component, elaboration, focused on linking new concepts to prior knowledge. This meant that students were prompted to extend discussions and make connections between related topics. Critical thinking was another major component, which involved students evaluating and providing constructive feedback on their peers' posts. Lastly, peer learning encouraged collaboration among students to clarify doubts and solve problems collectively. These components work together to strengthen students' self-regulation skills. Now let's discuss the significant findings from this study. The researchers conducted a 2-way ANOVA analysis and found a clear treatment effect. Students who participated in the IELC activities showed a statistically significant improvement in their self-regulated learning scores compared to those in the control group. Specifically, the average SRL score for the experimental group was 5.34, while the control group's average was 4.37. This indicates a marked improvement in SRL practices among students engaged with the IELC platform. The findings also revealed a large effect size of 16%, suggesting that the IELC had substantial impact on enhancing students' self-regulation. These findings underscore the importance of integrating technology-enhanced environments into modern education. Digital platforms like IELC provide opportunities for learners to exercise greater control over their own learning processes. This learner autonomy is critical in developing key self-regulation skills like planning, self-monitoring, and evaluating one's own progress. Dabik and Costantis support this, noting that learner control and peer interaction are critical benefits of technology-enhanced learning environments. By interacting with online forums and collaborative tools, students can engage more deeply with the content and with each other, which leads to better understanding and skill development. These results also have broader implications for educational policy and practice. First, schools should expand the use of digital learning platforms like IELC to foster self-regulated learning in secondary education. This involves providing the necessary resources and training for schools to adopt these platforms effectively. Secondly, there's a need to develop comprehensive teacher training programs to equip educators with the skills required to facilitate online discussions and promote SRL. Lastly, it's essential to integrate SRL-focused strategies into the national curriculum to ensure that students are consistently encouraged to set goals, monitor their progress, and adapt their learning approaches. This case study from Malaysia demonstrates the potential of technology-enhanced environments to significantly improve students' self-regulated learning practices. By engaging with platforms like IELC, students are empowered to take more control of their learning, collaborate with peers, and think critically about the content. Now, I'd like to open up a discussion with all of you. I look forward to hearing your ideas and thoughts on this topic.